Look at this kitty. She'll get it someday. Or she'll lose interest in it. Oh, I'm so glad I got this cat. She's so fluffy and adorable. Oh, alright. How is everyone? Kitty introduction notwithstanding, we have a bucket of Sphinx stone to deliver because it's still taking up my entire place. We have, let's see, 2 terror right now. And so what I'm gonna do is I think we're gonna go ahead and abuse that fact to just start going over towards this area of the map. We've got so much left to explore. We might as well visit Abbey Rock since we're going to be passing through it anyway. It's an easy 20. 20 echoes, I mean. See, this is the best part about having a cat. This game is full of a lot of just traveling in straight lines, so having a cat is a pretty good way to distract me while I'm, you know, traveling in straight lines. I probably shouldn't make her do that. That's not good for her spine. Oh no. Let's see, Abbey Rock is just over here. Go ahead and compile a port report. We can offer a hunting trophy actually. And that'll reduce terror by I think 10. Let's hold off for now. I need those hunting trophies for something else as well. Go ahead and dissect that. And we gain some more fragments. Didn't lose anything for that either. I wonder about these rifts. I think these are related to the DLC, which I don't think I have. Go ahead and compile a port report. Tentacles! We've lost some new terror. And a couple of echoes, but we're not too worried about that. We do need a first officer, so that would actually be well worth our time. So let's go ahead and put him in. more mirrors, even more veils. Lost a bit of hull in exchange for 2 new iron. Not bad. Oh. What's she up to?
Trying to pull out with them Ethernet cords.
Oh. I've been damn it. Elsa. You're a menace. And you're not interested in the toys anymore. I've been trying to play with her, but she's just lost interest. My god. So we'll try and do everything we can to decrease the amount of terror we gain without using up more fuel. In fact, this would be great if we actually got more fuel from this. A firkin of prisoner. Ooh, that's valuable. Wasn't expecting to find that off a random pirate. I wonder if I can take them. Do we want to try? I think they've got flares, if I remember right. Well, this isn't quite where I wanted to go, but sure. Cost 1 supply, sure. Let's find out what the deal is with the navigator. Seconds, then thirds disappear in small, hasty morsels. He is nervous and not a gifted conversationalist. You do your best to plug the silence. When you ask about his past, he winces. I can't say, my lady. He taps a livid sigil on his temple, which twitches like a scorpion's sting. Has burned away my memories. I recall I had a brother, but not his name or where he is. I remember the names of the ship I've served on. The Implicit, the Bonnie Swan, but not their crew. How did he come by the sigil? He clutches his head. I don't know. I don't know. Thinking about it is like fire in my skull. He grits his teeth. Someone must have hated me very much to curse me with it. But I can't even remember my enemy. The navigator's sigil has devoured his memories. He cannot recall his past. Captain! Captain! My sleep is riddled with dreams, my lady. Dreams of bells and candles. He paces the deck. I see a lonely house lit by tallow and wick. A bell is ringing. It rings now! Do you hear it? He scratches at his sigil, which has begun to bleed. Do you know the place, Captain? Can I plot a course? A place of candles and bells. The Chapel of Lights. A northern church where no sin is too terrible. We do actually need to go there. And we're near it too, so we can. Towers and ramps and galleries and stairs of ice, raised and spun like architect's honey dream. No spider ever wove so complex a web. The towers are utterly pristine, untouched by human life, but a pitiable encampment squats by the docks. We can also get an officer here if we want. We can create a port report. Not all are Irimi or Withern. There's the odd researcher, the occasional deranged ice sculptor, now and then a very cold and very sad rubbery man. But for the most part, an atmosphere of friendly rivalry reigns. Let's take tea with the squatters. A surprisingly warm welcome. Some of them wear the robes of Irimi and riddle fishers. Some look like Withern folk, but even more ragged. But they do seem a little more practical than either of those peoples. We're keeping the steps for the game of truths, a helpful riddle fisher explains, as she fills your cup for the third time. Every year, the people of Iram and Withern meet here for... She pauses. Contests, she finishes vaguely. The difference between a question and a riddle. One day, someone will prove themselves enough to enter the castle. You spend a pleasant few hours while the tea is supplemented with Irimi liquors, pale Withern beer, and something the riddle fishers describe blandly as snake cake. They offer you fuel and supplies before you leave. Did we get fuel? Oh, nice. And we lost 10 terror. Very nice. We keep enough to spare, the riddle fisher grins. From time to time, a captain gets lost and comes up here, and we always feel bad for them. Go ahead and buy the mechanic as well. The tireless mechanic is just really useful in general, and I'm actually going to use him over our current magician. What's he need? Bale of parabola linen, an outlandish artifact, a live specimen, terror, 5 firkins of prisoner honey. Huh. Invite him to dine with you. His tastes are Spartan. He eats little, drinks only water, barely sleeps at all. So you need only lay a simple table. Thanks for the meal and the company. No wine. It makes me sleepy. Oh yes, I sleep. Too easily. That's the problem. He hesitates. There's a draught I take nightly to substitute for sleep. It works well enough, and it keeps me sane and upright, but I wish I could enjoy just one night's sleep. If you could help me. We need a clayman from Polythreme. We'll need a mirror catch box, and we'll need to go to Hunter's Keep. I'll explain when we get there. No, I'm serious. I would owe you a great deal. Mirror catch boxes are rarely sold in London, but can be found in the Chelonate and occasionally elsewhere. What about the clayman? Hello, Rage. Not many people around, so I think you're the first person today. Need a lot of supplies, torpedo, and fuel for that one. I like that each of these characters has their own quest line. And if you really want, you can follow it all the way through. Adds a lot more to them, I think. I'm alright. Well, okay. I've seen better days. My stomach's... I think I've had a stomach bug for the past couple of days. Not great. Sycamore Arch. Frostbound. And we got another secret. But yeah, we can go to the Chapel of Lights, I think. Far off. Very far off. Someone screams. But yeah, I like the tireless mechanic because of its fuel efficiency perk and that pretty nice veil increase. Okay, we need to keep an eye out for a swimming mountain. I know it's around here somewhere. This must be Void's approach. The air crackles with frosty radiations. To the north, the false stars fail in the darkness. Should be around this area. As long as we can avoid that particular thing, then I'm not too worried. We're getting a bit low on fuel, but that's why we have the lights turned off. This will increase your wounds by 1. I don't know if we want that. Your sigil-ridden navigator races towards the chapel. This is the place! Hark! The bell! You give chase. Within, the air is heavy and hushed. When you enter to see your navigator shaking a smiling priest by the collar. It led me here! Tell me what it means. Look at it! Look at it! The priest disentangles himself as politely as possible. I'm sure we can find a path to put you on, my friend. He examines the sigil with the professional air of a collector. But we will need your help in return. The priest slips his arm around your shoulders. What does this cost? 2 live specimens. That's pretty fucking expensive. I'm still trying to figure out what's causing it. It's definitely something to do with my digestion, and I thought it was just because I was super hungry, but I've eaten multiple times and it doesn't go away, so I don't know. The priest slips his arms around your shoulders. For you, a lesser payment, he whispers. Post no guards on your ship tonight. Ask no questions. And in the morning, perhaps you'd like to join us for breakfast. Sure. Lost 1 crew. The chapel's congregation are soft-footed. No one on board hears them come or go. In the morning, a crewman's bed is empty. You divert your crew's concerns. Later, you take part in a late, warm, red breakfast in the church's crypt. When you emerge with the smiling priest, your navigator hurries forwards from a pew. The sigil! What does it mean? Who carved it on me? What did I do to deserve it? The smiling priest raises a hand. You are on a journey, my friend. Take 1 step at a time. I've seen your sigil before. Carved in the ice at Frostfound. Go there. You will answer your first question. That will lead you to the next. The navigator's thanks are muted. He plods back to your ship. Before you leave, the smiling priest gives you a wink. Oh, great. Now we've got unaccountably peckish. You have a cannibal taint. Great. Wait, is there anything else we can do here? Report, report. Hmm. All right. Let's see how far we can go. We're going to start up here and see what cities we can find. Fog bank. That's not good. Not good for morale. Oh, Avid Horizon. Hey, Elsa, come over here. Well, this is interesting. Two vast wing shapes guard a gate of something like resin, smooth but uneven. Cat. Will not let me. It is deep, giant. It is deep gaunt, the color that remains when all other colors have been eaten. Ice crusts over the cracks between its valves. Approach, and your breath freezes, falls tinkling in shards from the air. It would be utterly foolish to touch the thing. A merciless wind blows from everywhere to everywhere. It passes without effort through your bridge coat, your flesh, your lungs. The dock lies empty. Nothing moves. The stillness is itself of interest to the Admiralty. It is most impossible someone foolish might attempt to even open the gate. It is not inconceivable that it might open from the other side. And what then? Ooh. Well, this was worth coming for, I hope. Yes, this is my kitty. We can open the Hellgate with 40 materials for the passage. I feel like this is a bad idea. We're trying to keep terror down. We'll try it on the way back, but not right now. Tyrant moth. That thing that just fluttered out of view. Kinda don't want to try to fight that. The Ragged Crow, if it's got a lighthouse. What is this? 500 health. That's not something we can fight. That is a tyrant moth, yeah. Yeah. We're running low on fuel. And by low on fuel, I mean out of fuel. Okay. I don't know what kind of boat that is. See if Godfall has something that we can buy. We've got the money to buy fuel. We just need to make sure that we can actually make landfall. Sometimes, just occasionally, bits of the roof fall off here. Be glad you weren't here when this one did. Shit. The brawling bearded men who live here call themselves monks. The throats of the brothers are dry. They'll pay for something to moisten them. Oh, shouting. They pay lip service to Saint Stalactite, which fell from the roof, but their chief interests seem to be wine, blood, and shouting. They're eager to talk about their history. The stalactite, they assure you, was one of the citadels of the starved men who dwell in the roof. When it fell, a few of its occupants survived to become the monks' progenitors. How does that work, you wonder? With their vows of celibacy. They became vague, and are suddenly eager to speak of the details of passing shipping. Shit. Oh man, this music. One memory of a distant store, a Z story. Offer them a hunting trophy as a gift for their collection. Louder, ever louder. The trophy inspires amongst a feast of, or two feasts of bragging. This one broke a giant albino moray's neck. This one wrestled a hefty cheer. A third punched his way out of a bound shark. A fourth, and so on. You are largely forgotten. But there are truths of note in among all these tipsy boastings. Damn it, we're running low. There. Tides of appetite? Might be some supplies there. Damn it, Zbat, you're supposed to be looking for islands. Polythreme. Oh, fantastic. Where is it? It's to the south. Okay. Polythreme is a city. We can buy fuel there. Obey, endure. Commingle. Here is screaming. We are clay. Judgment's egg. Bring material. Taciturn claymen. Evasive clothes colonies, walking like humans. Cobbles that groan underfoot. On the hills above a palace villa of marble. But even that writhes like buried bones in an earthquake. What news from Polythreme? The king, with 100 hearts, rules from his palace above the city. He is never seen. He makes no treaties with other lands. But there's unrest in the air. The claymen you speak to are obedient and humble, but they speak nervously of those who are not. The maimed, the rebellious, the unfinished. Are they passengers or cargo? They're certainly the easiest passengers imaginable. Unless, just unless, one of them turns out to be an unfinished man. Yeah, let's do some shore leave. You don't say. Quarters -3, equips to auxiliary. This trio of clay stokers will reduce crew requirements, but also crew capacity. Engine power plus 250. I can't. I need that money to buy fuel. Can we get to Nuncio? We might be able to get to Nuncio. Oh. Okay, good. It's not that interested in us. We're working on that, Ferret. We're working on that. So we finally got to Polythreme. We know where it is now, at least. We're almost there. I will buy everything. With basically no problem. Shipyard journal. Simple port report. Cataloging all the peculiarities of this place takes many pages. The tailor, who imports gilt buttons and braids just to be able to keep everyone's uniform in condition. The fashion of wearing a post bag with nothing inside. Wear it open, wear it upside down, torn apart, or as a hat. Wearing it any way that will show it doesn't have letters on it. Then there are sitting rooms, or letters in it. Then there are sitting rooms papered in cancelled stamps. The bergamot pomegranate curd on toast. The commerce in rat corpses. The hatred of cats. The absolute custom against ever issuing a paper invitation for any event, no matter how formal. It's the familiarity, the not quite Londonness of the place that makes it all so odd. Oh, there's a parcel that won't take... Oh. Take soundings. Rescue a parcel that won't stop meowing. Extraordinary. There aren't even any air holes. The parcel's contents are not at all pleased to make your acquaintance. A yellow glare, a flash of claws, a distinctive odor, and the horrible animal is out of sight. You'd like to believe it will come to regret mauling you, but alas, it's likely to regard this rat-infested island as a paradise. Your left cheek will never be quite the same. Go ahead and collect some stuff. We picked up some dead post. We can turn that in at the postman's or the office of dead letters. Trade war stories about your shift work. You know how to fit in. The parcels you've weighed and entered in logbooks, the things that oozed out of them. The postmen are delighted by your incredulity and shock. A civilian, finally understanding the full horror of the post. They have stories even worse than those. Let me tell you. Hang on a moment. Postmaster Scritch, we've all heard your rubbery lump story already. It's nothing to the tomb colony pickles. Pickled... Pickled what is what I want to know. What about the Sooth and Cooper crate and how we had to scrape the bits off the masonry? Do you remember? The night runs late. You don't get far into your questions before the hairless postwoman stands up and goes over to the fire, holding herself tightly. She is whispering, nothing coherent. Fire. Clean. Smooth. Down to the bone. No excuse. Smooth. Smooth. Little black hairs. Still your fool tongue, says Blunt Thomas. Ah, that's how she lost her hair. Oh. She found one of the letters that burns off everything. Ah, damn. All right. Just keep looking around up here. After this trip, we are going back to London, and we're going to just try and build up some more money again, which means that we're going to be hunting big things for a while. What is the deal with Savior's Rock? Oh god, that music. That's so eerie. I love it. The webbed hulk of this once proud vessel refuses to be dragged beneath the black waves. Unlock the Savior's Rock. Walk into my parlor, said Foxfire Candles. Superstitions of the Z give even cynical sailors pause for the before ransacking half-drowned vessels. Still, nothing in the code prohibits indulging curiosity. There's where we want to go. This place is creepy. Really not much else to say about it, other than this place is creepy as fuck. The Nativity. The sound of their constant motion is like pebbles on a beach. Intricate webs stretch into a darkness where the shadows are never entirely still. Gossamer threads stolen by the breeze tickle the goosebumps on your skin. 1,000 unseen eyes promise 1,000,000 more. Risk exploring without candles. The sorrow spiders avoid the candlelight, but not out of any sense of fear. Though far from tolerant of outsiders, They care little enough for their abandoned webs to turn a blind eye to at least a little scavenging. Up to a point. What's this from? This is Veils. The glumness of the nativity is broken by the reds and golds of freshly hung banners. Spider-worshipping weavers and widows guide the traders in readying their celebration of gratitude to the generous neighbors that silently watch over them from the shadows. Assist with festival preparations. The assistance of an experienced captain and crew will hardly be turned down. Haunted Doctor increases hearts and pages. Hey, it's Slime Hunter. Hey there, Slime. We are exploring a island inhabited mostly by spiders. There's spider webs everywhere. Actually, I should say an archipelago of islands. Yeah, sure. The fine silk of Saviour's Rock is the most coveted in the Neath, and there can be no better time to acquire some without the usual trader's markup. We'll only be needing to stock up on supplies like this till after the Festival of Silk, warns the merchant, as his people load your goods onto the ship. It'll be back to echoes like regular after that. But still, you come to see me, and I'll give you a deal that'll turn Mr. Vale's cloak white. He pauses for a moment, checking the shadows on instinct. Course, if anyone asks, I never said that. Interesting. An almost entirely legitimate silk trader urgently requests your help with a delivery to Fallen London. Trinkets? Just trinkets, confirms the man, holding out the box. From inside comes a slight crackling sound, a hiss, a scratch that hints at nails on wood. Trinkets, he repeats, not meeting your eyes. Trinkets, just trinkets. The assistance of an experienced captain and crew will hardly be turned down. The traders of the Nativity have little practice showing appreciation, but at least put in an effort. In particular, they are not entirely accidentally let slip the secret of the Accord of Grace, a hospitality granted by visitors by the generous neighbors of whom they speak no ill. They do, however, hint that this only applies to travelers arriving through the port. Those unlucky enough to run aground on the rocks can consider themselves. But no. No. A sorrow spider might hear something that they would, of course, never say. We need a cask of mushroom wine. The Horrors of Spider Island? I will not watch that movie. That sounds bad. I will trust your judgment there. Oh, shit! Leave me alone. Is that? What is that? Oh, that's the Lorn fluke. That I don't want anything to do with. Not even a normal Lorn fluke is actually more dangerous than a normal Lorn fluke. O'Keefe's Drift. What is a Radiant ship doing all the way up here? This is a long way from the Radiance. An airship? Indeed. Oh, hey, I'm Zeppelin. Where's Zeppelin? I think that we'd better start heading back towards Fallen London. Our resources are low. Even though we don't have many mouths to feed, we need to get more money. We can't keep restocking. A stern reminder from the Admiralty. In the name and by the power of her enduring majesty, a trade embargo and quarantine in absolute perpetuity has hereby been declared on the Empire of Hands. 1. No ship of London is to permit aboard a Pentecost ape without express and prior permission of the Admiralty. 2. Any and all acts of spirifage are prohibited. 3. They know what they did. Beware of stowaways. Keep a tight grip on your soul. This is why I love this shit. Just that last one. They know what they did. The flea-ridden mare. With the regulations in mind, it is a surprise to be greeted by a mere itchy monkey in a tattered yellow robe, barely walking with the help of a ceremonial staff. Hello, cries the mare, in the broken voice of one not yet used to human speech.
Come, make yourselves at home. All souls welcome in bountiful Empire of Hands.
The crew shifts uncomfortably. They know the stories. It will take more than the natural beauty of this place to make most of them risk shore leave here. Monkey business quality is now 1. Great. The apes watch you hungrily. Oh, great! They eat souls. They eat souls. That's very pleasant. That's incredibly pleasant. Huh. Can we get a port report real quick? Oh, we need to visit everywhere? Okay. Gotcha. Scouting trip. Sovereign Island. The wooden palace stretches across the whole island. Passage to it lit by a field of tiny glimboyos. Many boats circle the island, all keeping their distance. The ones that get closest is an extended rowboat painted in yellows, whites, and reds. 4 servant monkeys strain at the oars, while its true passenger sits in comfort behind a gauze curtain. Just for a moment an eye catches yours, but only for a moment. It would not do for a high-souled ape to see something so beneath its notice. Gift from the Monkey Emperor. Or for the Monkey Emperor. We'll take a look at Hearthstake Island. A thin pillar of greasy yet appetizing smoke rises from the only human settlement in the Empire. The Admiralty has never stated precisely why it seeks to keep the Empire confined, though most opposition to it fades once said opposers actually encounter a Pentecost ape. They have been easy to corral, however. Though they do not lack wit, there is not an inventive bone in their hairy bodies, and no amount of stolen humanity has taught them the art of creating engines. He wipes his brow. Have you seen a big X on the ground by any chance? I get these 4 map pieces that got me this far and said X would mark the spot. But I couldn't find an X anywhere. He looks at the map sadly. It should be here, it says. Now where am I supposed to dig? He is too busy to talk right now, but adds that he will be in the village later if you want to trade adventuring supplies. Don't try the meatballs, he warns, getting back to his search. You just don't want to do that. Approach the village. Greasy smoke and guiltily tempting aromas rise from the collection of huts around a long-beached pirate ship and a field of pointedly impaled monkeys. An explosion almost takes off your head. Sorry about that, booms the boisterous pirate, lowering a smoking blunderbuss as he bits off shattered tree rain down. New arrival, aren't we? Well, if you haven't got a tail, you're all right by me. He squints, momentarily suspicious. You don't have a tail, do you? Wouldn't put it past the thieving little buggers to go shaving one off their own. Wouldn't know fair if it kicked them right up the arse. His voice is louder than his blunderbuss. The congealed meat juices in his thick beard are better not considered. Wounds no more than 2. All are welcome to share the pirate's wealth, provided that they have the stomach for it. And the table manners. Sure. The Feast of Forbidden Flesh. It is not a table, but a long plank from the pirate's old vessel, stretched along the sand and set with bone cutlery whittled from their fallen. One grace is duly spoken. Everyone dives into the bounty, snatching up thigh and hearts, and strips of tender meat dripping in well-crisped fat. Not with your fingers, boy! The boisterous pirate booms at one hungry soul with juice dripping from his lips. We are hardly savages. He considers his pirates. We are hardly ever savages. He corrects, exploding with a laugh that threatens to shake the table clear. Neat. A scouting trip, Fountainhead Island. Ancient secrets peek out of the trees. Any may visit, but few penties ever bother to make pilgrimages. The Empire of Hands is hardly as old as they pretend, but mimicry and theft infuses their whole culture. If the penties were to come to think that the rulers... I just realized we have 4 fuel left. Oh shit, is that enough to make it all the way back to London? We're gonna have to try. But mimicry and theft infuses their whole culture. If the Penties have come to think that the rulers should be buried in ancient temples, then it is ancient temples they will build. It would hardly be the first time their attempts to mirror humanity have entirely missed the point. In a clearing of parasympathetic trees looms an imposing structure of wood and stone. It stretches through the forest in a mix of stone and wood, its style at the mercy of Pentecost apes' current whimsies and inspirations. It would take a dedicated team to break in and uncover its secrets. Perhaps you will bring one later. An ancientish treasure map. Neither man nor ape claims this volcanic remnant between islands. Haunted, they say. Ridiculous. The trip offers a little time to think on the Penties. Technically, they are monkeys rather than apes, but it is not tactful to remind them all of this. Their high-souled faces, the accepted name is Pentecost apes. Or to their high-souled faces. In private, though, the... what is it, bitchy monkeys? Is about as common. It is, one might say, an ad hominid insult. Ad hominoid. Parasynthetic vegetation thrives in the Empire of Hand's fertile soil and cool humidity. Wide natural paths run between clumps of trees, softly lit by a dim green glow and the occasional glimmer of false stars through the canopy. Only the crackling of leaves and the soothing sound of water breaks the serenity of this volcano-forged paradise. Steam and a hint of sulfur gently rise from a secluded natural pool flanked by trees and mushrooms. You slip out of your itchy clothes and into the welcoming caress of hot, deep water. The salts and sweats of Zailing life melt away as you simply float, bare and free. Above, the false stars glimmer bright enough to be worth wishing on. All around, the glow of the tree casts ambient calm on the silent peace. How long has it been since you had a moment like this? Since London? Longer. Shit. One day, will you bring them here, to this place? Or will you be hearing tales of adventure of impossible land? Your legacy to the world, come what may. Their story is yet to be written. Perhaps the Z beckons them as it did you. Perhaps it does not. Salt cannot run in everyone's veins. Will they be the toast of the singing mandrake? Run with the scoundrel of Flit. You cannot be as much of their life as they may or may not wish you to be. But that doesn't mean they... Wait, what was that? Sounded like giggling? Caught! A tiny blonde girl perches, watching, on a rock. Her innocent grin is spiced with mischievous glee. She moves like a monkey, but she giggles like an imp. At the look on your face at being caught bathing in her hot spring, and one that floods onto it as she scoops up your clothes. Oh, goody. A monkey foundling. Shipwrecked as a baby, raised by the Empire of Hands, she now plays between the worlds of apes and men, neither quite one nor entirely of the other. A demand that she put those down at once. quest for dignity. Curse these relaxed limbs. She waits, grinning innocently, until you emerge from the hot spring with nothing but your strategically placed hands for modesty. But before you can get close enough, though, she bolts from her crouched position and into the forest on all fours. A scampering run that turns every rock and fallen tree into a springboard. Damn it! You cannot return to the crew like this. The branches scrape against your skin. The damp mud squidges between your toes. There's no sign of the monkey foundling, but her tracks are easily followed. The footprints lead here. She is not even attempting to hide them. It's as if she wants you to follow. Your hand slaps to your stinging buttock. The little stone lands in the dirt as a familiar giggle comes from above. You look to see the monkey foundling dangling upside down from a branch by her legs. A blowpipe in her hands and bag just out of your reach, tantalizingly so. Taking a deep breath, you politely, very politely, request that she return your damned clothes now. The monkey foundling listens and gives it some thought, tapping her blowpipe against her lips as she decides. Say, please. She grins. Oh God, no. The monkey foundling thinks for a moment. Pretty, please? Oh, nice. She is playing with you. You are not playing with her. Takes her hat clean off. Her grin vanishes as she reaches up to where it used to be, and her eyes well up with disappointed tears. She was only enjoying a little light mischief with the funny captain. She meant no real harm by it all. She blinks. The tears are gone. Very well, her new look says. The look of one used to fending off monkeys after her soul, and cannibals wishing a tender meal. If you want to play it rough, you shall have your wish. Enough! It is time to teach the brat a lesson. Here, the trees do not glow. The lights of the false stars are invisible. You chase the monkey foundling, but she is quick and agile, and she knows every tree, every rock. Now she is not playing. Painful stones and thorns zing out of the darkness, leaving sore red welts that stink and make your blood feel thick. By the time you fight your way through, she has gone. Why do you feel so sluggish? Why are your legs so... By the time you realize it is something on the thorns, it is too late. You pass out. You slowly drift awake. The monkey foundling sits on a rock, barely any distance away, idly playing a tune on a small wooden flute. You reach to grab her, but your arms won't move. You can't move. Not much. You are in a quicksand pit, your head alone still in the air. With sufficient time, you can work your way out, yes, though it will be slow and unpleasant. But for now... The monkey foundling sees you awaken and stops playing her music, the flute going into her little bag. She watches you struggle for a while and then walks off, out of sight. Only for a moment, though, before she returns, casually dangling a wasp's nest? It looks like it. This is my island, she hisses. You not welcome. The world explodes into stinging, buzzing agony as she pushes it down over your head. Ah, great. As you crawl back onto your ship, it is not your nudity that draws the crew's attention, but your body and face bloated with stings and bleeding from both your wounds and the many cuts taken while flailing blindly through the forest in search of relief or assistance. It takes several days of bed rest before you can see again, much less squeeze more than one syllable out of your puffed mouth. You do, however, have the honor of having spawned a whole new legend, a terrifying blood horror known only to those who travel east. Now 99. Wow. And we gained 5 times Tales of Terror and a bunch of new terror. Exploration complete. Prepare a comprehensive port report. Few have reason to brave the waters in the Far East, especially with the trade embargo. The Admiralty will pay especially well for up-to-date intelligence. All of them warrant further attention. For now, though, it would be best to see if your initial discoveries can whet the interest of anyone back home. Jesus. They all appear to be in use at the moment. You make a note to return later. Until then, business awaits elsewhere. If only the monkeys had proper ships, their islands would have proper docks capable of handling yours. Oh well. Need to help someone in fallen London. Alright, I think that is a sign that we're heading back to London. I still don't know why that Radiant ship is here. Jesus, we have 3 fuel to get all the way across. Terror is going to be an issue, as usual. That ought to do. That's just in case we can't get terror down. Because the mutiny's about to happen. In fact, let's keep increasing that. I'd prefer to spend all of the secrets I've been gathering rather than have a chance to lose it all. And we're at 92 iron. I think that's as high as we're gonna get for a while. My lady, I'm a good seaman. I'm yours if you'll have me. Will you have me? I'm hungry, I'll work hard. He seems likely enough, if a little ragged and sorrowful. Sure. You've gained 1 Vales, you've gained 1 crew. We do need more crew right now. And we're about to need a lot more crew. All the way back to the ship, he talks excitedly about the Zeeman's craft. You start paying attention when he mentions navigational tricks you haven't come across. With luck, he'll work as hard as he talks. We'll deal with the fear. We don't have much time left before the mutiny starts. So we'll just try and get as close to Fallen London as we can. The lighting is so nice in this game. Oh yeah. Especially the extra added features like islands aren't lit up until you've actually seen them. So it's like you have to have the light on. Otherwise you risk just bumping into the shore. Let's stop by the salt lines. We can reduce terror a little bit. Although I don't know if it'll help. Thank God that's on our side. Gleaming, it rises from the sea. It coils lazily around a sailor who does not speak or cry out. She only steps into its embrace and is gone. Ask, and no one will answer. The sea is quiet. Nothing stirs, but you saw the moon-pale limb of the monster. Was it there? Did the sailor leap? Surely you didn't push her. Surely. So there are other terror events that happen. Damn it. We've lost. Oh, fucking the stupid. No. I'm actually really annoyed about that. Because the Sphinx Stone basically cost us the game. We've been trying to get rid of it since the start of that freaking mission. Where the hell is the Chelonate? Where the actual hell is it? Okay. I need to take a break. Alright, let's get back into this. So I actually looked up a map, and the Chelonate is supposed to be in that area, which means it's moved, which is kind of the point. And that's kind of why it's never listed as a specific location. But I just got as unlucky as you can get, and I kind of hate that. If something like that keeps happening, and we just keep losing progress because I don't know, the game decided to hate us a playthrough, then we might just move on to the next game. What is the next game? Because this game is supremely grindy, and that doesn't really fit very well with its tendency to do permadeath. Like, you can spend a very long time getting pretty much nowhere, only to lose all the progress that you've managed to make. Ugh, I don't like that. Alright. Choose a past. What we're gonna do is hearts this time. Do the father's bones again. There you go. And he will be a dapper gentleman. This cadaverous and sinister prelate interviewed you in person. Just before you were cast out of the priesthood, he seems surprisingly sympathetic. After what happened with your father, he said, I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. What did he mean? The bishop's face is stern and shadowed. I do not condone what you have done, he says, but many of us have, what shall I say, eccentric appetites. Yes, I will assist you, but you must help me satisfy one of my own cravings. Dark drop coffee is difficult to find in London. Bring me, let us say, 2 sacks of beans. Bring me this, and I shall share with you what I know. August Travel Writer, this is new. The August Travel Writer shakes your hand. His grip is distressingly strong. Thank you. It's Gator's Morn I'm bound for, he says. I hear they... He hurries over to your stoker, who is carrying his steamer trunk up the gangplank. No need to trouble yourselves. Give it here. Remember, my lord, Gator's Morn. I'll pay you 150 echoes for when we arrive. Okay. Ugh. And we've lost our weapon too, because why the fuck wouldn't we? Ugh. That weapon that took me an entire playthrough to get, basically. There's Mutton Island. We have 8 crew members. Let's explore the shore. You turn and there's a long, lank, brown man at your shoulder. Listen, he says. I have a story for you. Nope. Drinks at the Cock and Cockerel. All right. Huh. All right. That's fair, I suppose. Damn ferret. There, you get replaced by a cat. Oh, we can't talk to the cat. Oh. Oh yeah, we don't have the cannon. Which means they can actually get to us to hurt us this time. I don't know. That last playthrough kind of killed any interest in... What the hell? Kind of killed any interest that I have in trying to complete the game at this point. Because that's the farthest we've gotten, and we had just restarted not only... Like, before we had at least the cannon that we kept getting over and over again. But this time we don't even have that. And I wouldn't say that getting one of the officers nearly equates to it. If you just get unlucky and can't find the shit that the quest is telling you to go do, then good fucking luck to you. But you need to find the shit the quest is telling you to go do, because otherwise you could end up with, I don't know, 20 of your cargo space, or of your friggin' cargo taken up for the entire game. If you don't. Which just sucks. Maybe I should just focus on getting a boat. Or getting the will. Either or, really. I don't know. I guess that last playthrough kind of killed any interest that I have in continuing to play this. Yay! Oh, we've lost 2 pages from... Jesus fucking Christ, really? You record the Republic's events. It's like trying to swing or sing wax or believe water. You do what you can. The third paragraph, Bud's eyes. The date is fundamentally wrong. The full stop bite. You do what you can. I'm not going to do much else here aside from buy a bunch of fuel. Yeah. And my main way of making money early game, which is the salt lions, is just, I don't know, like it. Ugh. The fact that you get it while trying to build up enough money to get a ship kind of sucks. The quest line related to it. Because then you just have this shitty ship that doesn't have that much space, and half of its entire cargo space is taken up. The other shroom. Good to know where that is. Let's gather some intelligence. There's the shroom top. There's something different about this patch of mushroom run. It's crumbly, friable. You dig into it, and a rich apply smell moves from, emerges from beneath. You found a pocket of different fungal stuff, pale green and delicious. Your crew scoops it into buckets. Embedded in our fruit. Solace fruit. That's peculiar. Oh shit. We can sell that. And we gain the supplies just when we needed them. I guess the problem with this is just that at the end of the day, I'm not interested in reading everything over and over again. So I'm just kind of skipping through all of the dialogue. It's kind of the same problem that Cultist Sim has, where repeated playthroughs I don't think are the strongest point. It's the first experience that's always going to be the strongest. And I'm just grumpy because I lost that entire progress. The fuck? This is new. Feed it. Yes. Feed the white Z-Bat. Oh god. Ow. Oh, I should have picked up a strategic report target. Oh well, at least if I already know where they are, it's not going to be a trouble to get to them again. At the heart of a salty little bog, you come across a pulsing mound of ptarmigans. They are rich, dark purple, like viscera, perhaps, or blackberries. They chitter as they swarm. The sound is like pebbles on a beach. Be careful. A single ptarmigan is a nuisance. 100 is a calamity. Repulsive creatures! Take what you can. Armed sailors settle behind a rise in the ground at the bog's edge. On your signal, they open fire into the purple mass. Dozens of ptarmigans fall, but hundreds remain. They seethe across the bog, leaping across black gaps of standing water, maws agape. But you direct your crew's fire with calm and precision, and only a few reach the line. Your crew methodically smash them with the rifle stocks and advance with caution towards the bog. The ptarmigans, which remain to defend the mound, are no match for your weaponry. You take the mounds with a single fatality, and they die, chittering curses. Or without a single fatality. Of course, now you're possessed of a mound of mud. You find nothing of value, although the ptarmigans apparently collect little clay tablets marked with indecipherable chicken scratches. Your quartermaster, however, points out that the ptarmigan bodies can be rendered into purple dye, which can fetch a decent price. Nice. Ah, the spores lie thick on your face. They coat your tongues. One crewman begins to whimper. Oh, Christ, he says. They've reached my heart. I think I'll be harvest yet. Harvest yet! You have to drag him back to the ship before he's calm again. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. There we go. That was not worth it. That's 15 terror for one supply. Whatever. King Eater Castle. Ah. Yeah. There it is. Oh, Pigmont Isles here. I guess we might as well get that story out of the way so that we can see if we can't make the island stronger. Hopefully we can. We've got good hearts, actually. There's a pretty good chance we can. So I'm just going to skip through this, but just as that there's a war going on between the rats and the guinea pigs. Attempt to broker a peace. My words helped them reach an agreement. The chief engineer and the seneschal shared a look, then regarded me with scornful amusement. Yes, smirked the chief engineer. You are obviously much cleverer than us. How much? Murmured the seneschal. You clearly know us much better than we know ourselves. Apparently idealism would not help here. Okay, let's see what happens if we help the Kavis. I bowed to the seneschal, who purrs with pleasure, while the chief engineer gnashed his teeth, but kept his distance. You have chosen wisely, Captain, said the seneschal. Come, and I will explain our situation to you in greater detail. Oh my god, that's adorable. The seneschal lead me to the southern side of the island, skirting the chicken woods. We passed through a number of raised mounds of earth, mixed with fortifying strips of mushroom flesh, which I supposed to be makeshift walls. The settlement was dazzling. This side of the island appeared to be absolutely wreathed in scintillac. The Cavi's dwelling was awash with their silver phosphorescence. It was a large colony. Most noticeable was the steam pinnacle, the impossible lamp that had run aground, from which Cavies came and went, bearing supplies. To the right of the ship, further down the beach, a large group of Cavies lay on the bundles of colorful cloth, whining and wailing as if in pain. To the left of the ship was a ramshackle tent of poles and linen, in front of which the guinea pigs clashed against each other to sharpen their teeth. Sharpened their teeth. In the center of the village was a covered dais, veritably festooned with colorful cloth and guarded by well-decorated knights. I suspected this was where King Gracenaw kept counsel. Be welcome, Captain, in the kingdom of Cavia, capital of our isle and blessed by the light of Our Lady's eye. The seneschal spoke solemnly, but with a hint of sadness to her words. Or so it was, and shall be again. I must speak with our king and prepare your arrival. My page will show you the area, and bring you in sight of his splendor in good time. Page? A much smaller guinea pig, its fur braided with a slender strip of parabola linen, scurried over and bowed. The seneschal took their leave. Hey, Spec. Were those guinea pigs quarantined? The Black Death. The elderly-looking Cavi greeted me, eyeing me gravely. Many of us sickened during the voyage, a rotting in our teeth, a weakness in the flesh. This isle was our salvation. The stronger among us made a pilgrimage towards the pool of Our Lady's light, and then, miracle of miracles, they were cured. They bathed in her, they drank her sweet water, and the strong brought the weak to her in turn. Soon we were thriving again, bearing our children and raising them to love Our Lady's eye, and see in it our deliverance. The elder looked sorrowfully at the sick under his care. Since the rats stole her, the sickness has returned, and this light is but a mockery of hers, and we gain from it no benefit. The only thing, the elder's ears and voice flattened in a hiss, that helps our condition is the flesh, the very hearts and livers of the rats who stole her from us. Yep. Not many people around today. We're kind of skipping through a lot of stuff because we're now on our fourth captain and I will be perfectly honest, the game basically just decided I wasn't going to get or find the location I need to deliver the quest to. They put a lot of work into this. Visit the steam pinnacle on the beach. Was this indeed the impossible lamp? Wasn't it reported overrun by rats? The page chittered while I inspected the vessel. Rats? Never! The splendor of Cavi overtook the vessel. I was born here, the first native of Cavia, but all our elders remember the voyage. It was hard, they say, but we were harder. But the sea is black and unkind. We were lost in the dark for weeks, and no one speaks of those terrible times. But out of the darkness came the light of Our Lady's eye, guiding us here to our unknown isle. In time we will ride the waves again, perhaps, once we recovered our eye. Is it not splendid? It certainly may have been at one time, but I could see the hull had been... I could see the hull had been severely damaged by the Scintillike reef. There was no way the cavies could hope to repair it themselves. Whatever the page said, they were stranded here. And... the barracks. What chance could guinea pigs stand against the weaponed might of the Ratus Faber? The page led me to the barracks, where the knights didn't deign to speak to one so undecorated as I. The page, however, was eager to answer my questions. The rats have no weapons, none to speak of. What is a gun without a bullet? A sword without a blade? Ours are supplies. The knives, the soft stuffs, and the glory. Their teeth are sharp, it is true, while ours are sharper. All praise the flowers of the house of Cavi. One knight preened while another grunted indifference, working a whetstone along the top front teeth. As I watched, a particularly vigorous swipe knocked a whole incisor out of place. It landed on the ground in a black and bloody mess. The knight gasped, grasped the tooth, and vanished from sight. Another glared in a way that dared me to make something of it. Oof. I've seen enough. It is time for my audience with the king. The page led me, crouching at first, and then on my knees, before King Gracenaw and the seneschal. The king was the largest guinea pig I had ever seen, easily twice the size of the largest knight in his retinue. The seneschal looked positively dainty next to him. All right, later, ferret. Thanks for sticking by. We are told, intoned the king, that you have promised your assistance to the house of Cavi. This is agreeable to us, but in what form shall your assistance take? I want to do iron. Yeah, that's not surprising. One could use shadows to catch a light. The rats would not even know we had been there. Probably. I spent a few hours scanning the rat's shoreline, determining the best point of approach. There, a cove thick with chickenwood, too small and cramped to fear the mooring of a boat. My crew rowed me towards the very knife's edge of shadow cast by the blazing eye, and I carefully swam the rest. From shore it was an easy enough matter to pick my way towards the settlement, and once I was within 20 feet of the eye, I sprinted. I stumbled, flailing, into the light of the eye. This was a terrible plan. What possessed me to think running towards the light was a good idea? Protect the star! They shouted as they launched themselves at my legs and arms, sinking their teeth into my flesh. I let it only cost terror to do, though. It was all I could do to shake them off in the water as I struck out for my boat. My crew watched in horror as the beasts clustered my limbs like fierce, furry leeches. Do it! Yeah, we succeeded. Hail Caviar. We don't want to do the force because that actually weakens the thing. Oh, 68 terror this early on though. The rats shouted in alarm and scurried towards me, but my legs easily outpaced them. I smothered the eye in my wet clothing and bound with it towards the boat, waiting in the shallows, while the rats around me fired wildly into the sudden dimness, wailing their loss to the Z. The cavies rewarded me suitably for my return. And we got 10 fuel. Nice. They were reputed to be excellent swimmers, adorable enough to boost morale, and if times should become lean, I thought, maybe a guinea pig stew would buy the crew a day or two before they start eating each other. Welcome aboard. The seneschal, of course, couldn't abandon her duties, but she made certain my request was cried out in the village square. The page squeaked excitedly and sought permission from her to join my party. I will record your doings for the glory of Cavi, he declared, and I'd like to see more of the world. I waited for him to gather up some effects and say goodbye to his family before lifting anchor and setting off. The survivors were being treated poorly, but the rift did not seem entirely insurmountable. I appealed to the House of Cavi's grace and good breeding, and praised King Gracenaw's magnanimity. Perhaps the rats knew not what they did in stealing the eye. Perhaps they were only stumbling about in the dark for a light, as the cavies were themselves while lost at sea. The seneschal and the king exchanged a look. The seneschal murmured something into the king's ear, and he growled deep in his throat. You saw only the frond tip of our suffering, Captain. The rats must answer for every drop of noble blood spilt, and in kind. We will require a great many hearts and livers to repair the health of our great kingdom. Our young shall eat their old as is meet. That's... The king's courtiers chittered appreciatively at his wordplay, while the knight separated the screaming young rats from the adults who had given up trying to fight. Yeah, okay. Maybe joining the rats was a better idea. I've done this quest once before. And I started with the rats and visit the rat ghetto. The House of Coffee has not been gracious in victory. We've got fuel to smuggle. Quite a lot, actually. 25 total. I know it says 14, but I don't think it's updated. The cavies have forced their rivals into the swamps and hold them there with a high spiked wall. Thick black mud squelches underfoot as you pass through the guarded gates. Hungry eyes watch your approach. On the day we saw the pillars of Irem. Oh, right. I remember this. Rat ghetto. I guess every time that I do this is increasing it. A small bribe to a small guard gets the delivery through the gates. The rats scrape together what little they can to repay your kindness. Huh. Neat. Got some scintillate out of that. Ah, damn it. Shit. Yeah, okay. Kaviev will be stronger if its two houses work together. Getting an audience with the king, with King Grace now, takes careful diplomacy and generous bribes. You lead a small group, Chief Engineer Edgar, some of the more presentable rats, and a few brave Cavies willing to speak for their defeated enemies. The king reluctantly agrees to allow the rats back into Cavia Town, if only for the moment. Nice. Okay. We can purchase Scintillac from these guys. 105 echoes. Help Cavia resolve a dilemma. Alright. That was well worth. Well, the terror wasn't, but we actually managed to build up enough hand. Pages +2. Okay. The page gives pages. Who would have thought? The nation needs hope. If this reaches 0, bad things will happen on Pigmont Isle. You know, I was actually kind of hoping to see more people here, but then again, overheat will be occurring for the rest of the summer, so maybe that's why we haven't seen many people. Gain new supplies, nice. That's crab cake. Ah. Please don't. Labyrinth of eels. Alright. Let's visit Hunter's Keep for the first time. Yay. And news. Go ahead and reduce it down. Well, that was a good first trip. We visited Demute Island, Pigment Island, Hunter's Keep, Mountain Island, Iron Republic, and the Commune Canal. And whatever this is. Oh yeah, the Utter Shroom. Go ahead and adopt a Blemigan. Pick up a Tomb Colonist. No, we're fine with 7 crew right now. Neat. Number 4. The game decided that apparently I wasn't going to find the Chelonate. And so, no matter how hard I looked, it eventually drove me mad and caused my crew to kill me. So that was fun. And also kind of bullshit, to be honest. I really hate how grindy this game is. I still, after 4 captains, haven't seen anything of what it's like to actually own a bigger boat. Because the very next boat is still, what? Yeah, 2,000 echoes in cost. Which is simply unrealistic. Because most people actually lose money on trips. I'll buy a Foxfire candle, just so that we can have one. What is in our hold? Intellect, tome. Okay. Oh, right. Let's just get the 50 echoes from here. Because there's an undiscovered location right in London. Being the Echo Bazaar. There we are. And, oh yeah, the Department of Menace Eradication. Have you played Cultist Simulator or Sunless, guys, Machupi? Because this game is very similar to those, but I feel like the experience is a lot tamer if you played either one. It's very random, and honestly, I don't think that permadeath suits it very well. Thankfully, there is an option to turn off permadeath. I haven't, because that's not the intent. Okay. How do you mean Echo Bazaar is better? Is that true? Oh my god, can I just shoot you? But yeah, it's similar to Cultist Simulator, or I mean, of course, it's similar to Cultist Simulator. The game is by the same writer. Yeah. Yeah, I honestly don't know if the boat adds that much, to be honest. I kind of agree with you there. Because the most interesting stuff is actually just all the text dialogue. Oh no, we have to open a monstrous eel. Yeah, exactly. And the combat just isn't very interesting. I don't know, after the last playthrough it kind of killed any desire for me to keep playing this. Just because I lost in that last playthrough the very best boat that I had and every captain from that boat. And that was as far as I had ever gotten. And now I have to do it all again, and that took me like, I want to say 2 days to get that far. And now it just means nothing. So, I don't know if I would recommend this. I enjoy the dialogue. Like, that's all very good. But everything around it is just kind of blah. And yeah, I'm not reading through the dialogue because this is the fourth time that I've read all of this. So I'm not going to read through all of it every single time. Okay. Oh no, I'd recommend taking a look at it just to see what you think of it from what you're seeing. and unorthodox diet. I also don't like how terror is implemented in this. In that, let's be perfectly honest here, you cannot reduce terror without spending a ludicrous amount of money. And you can't really stop terror either. It's just a constant thing that ticks up. So it's to the point where I've just turned off the light because I don't care. I'm just going to have to deal with it at some point. We might as well try. And then once it reaches maximum, mutinies happen, and either you win or lose the mutiny. And if you lose the mutiny, you lose the game. And that's what ended up costing me the game last time. Terror management is not really a thing. Well, it's not a thing that is realistic. You can only reduce how fast it increases. You can't actually stop it from increasing. And reducing it, ha 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 ha, that's not happening. Actually reducing terror is basically impossible. Just a bit of a cheeky hit on that life berg. I've learned that most sea creatures, regardless, don't really care too much about if you hit them or not. It's just if they can make it to you. Gather all the intelligence. Explore the town. Pages quality. Sure. Don't care. The House of Questions. Asked about the drone, man. That's 100 echoes. That better be worth it. The initiates of the house are reluctant to speak of him, but you may be able to bribe them to gain a few tenuous snippets. He is not a god. He comes from the north, where it's too cold for gods, and to the north he will return. If you go north, nothing of you will remain. Gotcha. That probably wasn't worth it. In fact, actually, we can probably take the probably out of it. That almost certainly wasn't worth it. Codex is over here. After 400 hours, you've completed your first playthrough of XCOM 2. Good job. Someday I hope to play it through once. How is the actual campaign in that, etc.? Is it better or worse than the first one? We can acquire Doomed Monster Hunter if we decide to come back with a couple of things. Frost found is straight ahead. I feel like Cultist Simulator was a lot better designed than this. And I don't know about Sunless Skies. It's got more flavor than the first. How do you mean flavor? Also, I hope it better. They're using basically the same content from the first. Okay, we can have this guy who helps with the fuel problem. We can ask the squatters. Create a port report. Reduce terror a little. Like I say, there's not really any good way of reducing it all the way. King Eater's Castle. I know where that is, actually. Well, I know vaguely where that is. Ah. So the guinea pig is just straight worse than the Blumigan. Why? Okay. I may have to try it, but I don't have any money right now, so that's not happening. Yes, get all the new fragments. Is that a tyrant moth? I wish that it put it underneath rather than like off to the side. That is a tyrant moth. Okay, we're turning the lights off and trying to hope that it won't attack us. I think those things have ranged attacks. I don't know what a tyrant moth's doing all the way over here. Oh. Oh, it's that tyrant moth. The Ragged Crow's tyrant moth. To this day, I still don't really know what the deal is with the Ragged Crow. Hey, Gator's born. Oh, did they? Huh. That's a good thing, I guess. Same system, you mean? Veils. Yay. Got that port report without losing a crew member. Drop off your august travel writer. Here is your payment, my lord. I'll be back by evening bell. We'll discuss my next destination then. 150 echoes, not bad. Well worth the trip. The travel writer sets across the planks with good speed, his briefcase in his hand. It seems heavy, although he claimed it held only documents and writing equipment for an interview with the Pirate King. The day passes relatively peacefully. There are brawls, but in good fun. The blood washed away with celebratory beer. By night, the boisterous cheer has given way to whispers about an uncommonly brutal murder executed within an experimental shipyard. They say you couldn't enter the yard without stepping in the victim. The travel writer returns. He greets you with a curt nod and boards your ship. Sure. The Commune Canal. That's easy enough. I actually know where that is. Let's go ahead and explore the Morn, see what we can find. We have good hearts, so this is actually pretty likely to succeed. And it failed. Freaking random chance. I mean... Actually gonna leave the light on. See if we can't keep looking around. Maybe we'll find the salt lions. If we do manage to find the salt lions, then that'd be pretty good. Yep. Oh, hey. I know where this is. Are you sure about that? Because I'm looking at one of the more important ports in the game. There it is. Port Cecil, thank you. Frickin' hell. We also do need to kill this eel at some point. Oh Jesus, we're at almost 2,000 logs in the central campfire. No one's figured it out yet. Damn it. A light grows to the far southwest. It begins like a distant bonfire, but very rapidly it becomes brighter, brighter. It looks remarkably like sunrise. Some of your crew falls to their knees. Others duck behind cover or shield their eyes. One cries, "Dawn machine waking!" Yeah, we're taking cover. Light sheets over you. Your hair crackles as if storm were rising. You squint your eyes shut, but the radiance around you is bright enough that you can see the pink of your eyelids. The light fades suddenly. Men and women cry out. Curse. One weeps. Hi, eel. Yeah, we've been getting lots of secrets, thankfully. Probably hot enough to smelt metal. There's something else that people haven't figured out yet. Which is, what is overheat doing with those logs? It's adding them to the main campfire, but there's something else. Hello, Bound Shark. Hey, salt lions. Oh, no, never mind. The Chelonate. Didn't expect to see these guys. Try and get our veils up a bit higher. Yay. Okay. No, right. That's what these guys want. Dark drop coffee, favors, drowning pearl, Taman's mercy, condescensions, Taman's mercy. Okay, so basically, dark drop coffee is what we're going to be looking for a bit. Piquing my fancy? What? No. There's something that you guys can control here. Okay, you know, I'll give you a hint. You may have noticed that you are gaining increased logs much higher than normal right now. That's not random, and that is something that you can change. Frick. Frick! Can't see shit. There we are. Well, keep an eye on the amount that you're gaining, if you can. I might add a notification. Every time it happens, just to make it a little bit more obvious. That's a failure on my part if it's not obvious enough. Damn, Cons is big. Ooh. Cons is actually probably a bit bigger than London. Please don't notice me, please don't notice me. God damn it. Sorry, hang on a moment. Okay, here we are. Is the amount of logs gained being going up as the main campfire grows? You can do that because you've always been able to add logs directly to the main campfire. And yes, that is exactly what's happening. Whether that's worth it is up to you. Oh, no. It's not. It's retroactive, so it takes into consideration how many logs are currently in the fire. You literally can, because as long as you can add logs to it, it's giving you more logs back. You will always be able to add logs to the main campfire. And as long as you can continually increase the amount that you get. That's Overheat's mechanic. That's the balancing act. It's taking, but it's also giving back. There is no lose state, as you put it. Khan's Heart, London's rival. An oasis of light in the salt black waste. Canals thread the painted city. Street lamps glow and water taxis putter. We can seek it. But it is giving currently 3 times the number of logs that you would normally get. And at a much faster rate. Why would you want it gone? There's still more that I haven't said, but yeah, it's... And honestly, at this point, I don't think I want to remove it until summer finishes. I can still tweak it, and I have been tweaking it a little bit, but nothing really big. It's been functioning more or less how I intend it. The thing is, Spec, if you want Overheat gone, then you'd be losing out on all of the logs of the entire event. it would just be taking them and you'd not be getting anything back. What would be the point of just giving out more logs, though? That would kind of ruin any sense of real flavor that I could have done with the event. Hmm. Okay, so here's the other thing. Overheat isn't targeting its choices randomly. I'm not going to say how it's targeting its choices, but it's not random. We can hire a crew here. 50 echoes. See commercial license. The Kaganians dislike merchants and they dislike foreigners. Foreign merchants induce paroxysms of antipathy. Perhaps sufficient bribes will buy your way into the Nefriti quarter. I think, is it Nephrite or Nefriti? Not here, Surfacer. Surfacer? But the Kaganians have been generations underground, and to them all Londoners are surfacers. It seems you'll need to get to Khan's Glory, the nearby palaces of nobility, to seek a license. Hmm. Okay. I mean, I'd appreciate at least you're being honest there. I wasn't sure how people would react to it. Initially, the extra logs being given back wasn't even something that I'd considered. And that added more time to it. And then I added a little bit more complexity. It used to be that it wasn't something that you guys could even control. Of course, as it pulls more logs into the main campfire, it's going to keep giving more and more back. But there's something else that hasn't been mentioned and no one noticed until or before the overheat activated, which is that the actual amount of logs being burned is increasing. Nephrite? Nephrite? Really? Yeah. Pay a storyteller. The storyteller's in the square of cedars wear brightly colored kaftan-like clothing with silk sashes, in contrast to the more sober and subterranean dress of the citizenry. For coin, even foreign coin, they'll sing epics of their nation's nation's story. We can hire a crew here. We can wander Khan's heart, which I think I'll do. Foreigners have restricted to the copper quarter, but as long as they don't try to cross the bridges, you can explore in reasonable safety. I now have a strange catch. Woo. You are cornered by a screaming, cheerful woman in a sort of lacquer-armored fish suit. As far as you can make out, she was attacked in the Moon Canal by something with tentacles. She still has this tentacled thing slung over her shoulder. For some reason, she is determined that you should purchase it. You plead, evade, offer nothing but the smallest coins, but she is relentless. Tentacles it is, then. Hmm? What's up? I didn't add that, but I could. I didn't have time to add that, but that was something I had considered. Honestly, it was 2 a.m. by the time I actually finished it, and I was just done. Right now, adding logs to the main campfire will increase the amount that you gain, though. And considering the total is 3 times the current or the original amount, I'd say that more than makes up for how much it's taking. Though, of course, it's more effective with more people in chat since it's spread across the entire chat. Well, not spread across, it's multiplied by the entire chat. Spread across implies that it... Ooh. Sweet. Rivalry between the Leopard and Eagle clans. Concerns about the Chelonate raids. Some appalling gossip about the traitor empire, or empress back in London. Perhaps you shouldn't write that last one down. And move on quickly. That fellow in the corner has an informer's look. Ooh, we're out of... Purchase fuel at an outrageous price. What is shop? Oh, wow. Shops are bad here. That, and I'm intending to run Overheat up until Halloween. So people have a lot of time to add. Because you remember what happens at Halloween, right? Man, this place is huge compared to London. Well, actually, no. London's mostly landlocked, so you don't actually see its entirety. Basically. Temporarily. Oh, shit. Turn that back on. I forgot that we had terror this high. Basically. There's not much that you can realistically do with the system. I could turn it into something more complex, but that would require a lot more coding than I'm personally willing to get into just for the bot. It would probably be like Fallen London's or Echo Bazaar levels of coding, which is a bit ridiculous. Just a wee bit. Need to make sure terror doesn't keep going up. Ah, fuck. Probably. Honestly, after the last run, I really haven't been wanting to play this. Everything's just like, it's not randomly generated. Oh, okay, it is pretty randomly generated, but it's generated in a way that you can kind of affect. But my problem with that is, oh, sweet. We can use this to reduce terror a bit. My problem with it is just that the success states are random. Very random. Which means that even if you have like 90%, you can fail, which just ugh, never liked. Granted, it seems to be true random, which is a good sign. What? Oh, no, no. Oh, great. Can we not? Oh, okay. Damn. I don't know if we're going to be able to make it all the way back to London. We can make it all the way over here, though. 85 is way higher than I'd like for my terror to be. Okay, no, this isn't working. That's going to take more fuel than I would like. Spec, it's really fucking hard to get a bigger boat. This is not my choice. And that's kind of why I don't like this game. It takes way too long to get any progress. And then whatever progress you do make is really fucking hard to keep. I don't know. Do we have any of the gods' attentions? I think we do. Why is Heavy Rock all the way out here? Also, a bigger boat may not actually solve the problem, because even though we can carry more fuel and stuff, it's not going to solve the problem that I keep losing to, which is frickin' terror. Yeah, that is. The problem is that I can use the light to reduce how fast it gains, but I can't use it to stop it, which is bull. If you have light on, unless you have something like a really powerful creature or Z creature in front of you, then it shouldn't increase terror, in my opinion. Because it uses fuel, which means you're using a resource to only slow progress rather than actually do anything with that progress. Which I think, honestly, is really bad design. You're not actually getting anything out of that resource. Especially since that resource can lead to a game over if you run out of it. basically the reason why I have the light turned off most of the time, because not using fuel is one of the things that makes it a massive pain. Let's help Kavya resolve a dilemma real quick. Ah, damn it. Fuck. Okay, we are one away from starting mutiny range. Which means we can't turn off our light. And we're moving at much slower pace than usual because of the friggin' tentacle that came out of the water and just stole a crewman. So we can't actually do anything. And we're at 90. Okay, at this point I don't care. Yeah, that's my problem with it. You can make progress, and technically you can keep the progress between runs. Oh, fuck off. I mean, that's less crew to fight, I guess. When the mutiny happens, which it will. And another one. That was literally seconds apart. Basically, if we make it back to London, we'll be fine. If we don't, then we don't, and we lose. I think the implication of statue is that it's not even a Kraken, it's actually just you pushing them into the water. Fucking... Fuck off! If we lose all our crew, then we just lose, by the way. I don't honestly think it is a Kraken. I think that it's just you being insane. If we lose, like, feet away from London, I am going to be so pissed off. The Drownies swim with the ship now. In their song is the taste of salt. This is a new one. The 100 colors of darkness. No. And we failed, so we lose. Okay, I'm fucking done with this game. I don't care anymore. I think I see why Malarthy doesn't like this one, but he does like Sunless Skies. Yeah, I'm just done with this. This is the point when I have actually just had enough. Because just random chance. Well, not even random chance. That was in part me being dumb, but also just Jesus. I should also mention these don't actually do anything. This bullshit, the retain 50% of your heart's value, doesn't do anything. Which means that there's a part of the game that is broken. Yeah. I need a break.